Good evening and welcome to Wednesday Night Live. My name is Paul Wilson, and as you probably know by now, I help people who are looking to get sober, stay sober and take back control of their lives. Tonight, I've got something a bit special for you, something that can help you in all different areas of your life if you take it seriously. And what I mean by that is you sit down, when you make some time, you've got a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and you can be undisturbed. You've got a pad and a pen and you can sit down and take the time and answer some of these questions. Hi Amanda. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read through the questions first of all, and then we'll go back and I'll take them sort of one at a time and give you my take on things. So first of all, how do you feel about your life right now? Secondly, is everything the way you wanted it to be? If not, why not? What do you think is your biggest obstacle? What would you like to do in the future? What do you think you need to do that? And, you know, those are the questions. So if you've got a minute and you've written them down, I've actually posted them down below in a previous message, but I'll actually retype them in the comments later on. So if we take the first question, which is, how do you feel about your life? Yeah. What I mean by that is everything. How is your life going for you? Are you happy about it? Is there things that need to be improved in your life? Are you having a really hard time, really good time? I mean, if everything is plain sailing, then you don't really need this video. Maybe you could share it with somebody that does need it. But just have a really, dig deep. Are you happy where you are with your relationship, with your job, with your dog, with your kids, with your house, with the way you look, health-wise, everything? Really, really take the time to answer this question because it will help you. The next question is it everything you wanted to be? Is your life where you were expecting to be 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 40 years ago? I mean, I'm 58 and my life is nowhere near what I thought it would be like when I was a kid. Completely different and much better in so many ways. Yeah, really, really, really different. So again, just have a think about, is it the way you expected it to turn out? Did things turn out the way you wanted them to? It's really important that you do this. Next question, if not, why not? Now, what I mean by this is, if things aren't going well for you, why aren't they going well for you? Do you know the reason why? Have you actually pinpointed what isn't working for you? And again, don't just use a surface response like, oh, it's me, or this isn't working. Actually go right deep, go profound, yeah, and look at yourself as if you were, I don't know, an alien. There's an alien sitting in a spaceship orbiting planet Earth, and it's picked out 100 different members of the human race, and it's observing them, okay? And it's looking to go, what's this person doing? What's this person doing? What's that person doing? So imagine that somebody's got, a microscope on you and looking at you. Really have a good look inside yourself and answer this question. What do you think is your biggest obstacle? Again, don't just put like it's me or it's my wife or my husband or the kids or my job or whatever. That's a surface response. What we need to do here to actually really make change is to be totally honest with yourself and just figure out, what's the block? Is it because you procrastinate too much? Is it because you're frightened of change? Is it because you're worried too much about what your peers, your local group of friends, family, colleagues, what they would think, how they would react if you made the changes? Is it something that your parents said when you're a kid? I mean, my parents always told me to respect authority. And that meant that for a long time, I could get stopped by a police officer and actually doing nothing wrong, and I'd start to get all nervous and jittery because he'd stop me just to ask me a routine question about something, yeah? And because I'd been patterned and conditioned by my parents to, you know, respect authority, I was stuck in there. There were, you know, lots of things like that creep into our lives and actually block us from really taking a good hard look. Next question is, what would you like to do in the future? And again, I'm not talking about, well, I would like to save the world and kiss cute furry animals. What is it? What makes you tick? What do you want? Where do you want to be? Yeah. Do you want to learn painting? Do you want to sail around the world? If you're not at that age yet, do you want to get married and have a family? Do you want to climb Mount Everest? Do you want to start a business? What is it that you really, really, really want to do? Maybe you want to repaint your house. Maybe you want to build a house. I don't know. But it's important that you know. And again, you just take the time to have a really good think. You know, maybe make lists or, you know, write down on Post-it notes stuff that you're interested in, stuff that maybe when you was a kid. I mean, ironically, this is a funny story. My dad, for about the first 10 years of my life or thereabouts, was a railwayman. And I live in a small town up north, in the northeast of England. And outside of this town was a small village. And in between the town and the village, there was a railway line. And my dad, he owned the signal box. This is the day when you had to pull levers, yeah, to move the points on a piece of track. So the train could either go this way or that way. And he loved that signal box. He was really, really proud of it. And he kind of put into my head automatically again that I wanted to be on the railway. I wanted to be a railway driver. And that, you know, was something that I wanted when I was a kid. And I had train sets and all that kind of thing. And as I grew up, I completely forgot about it, completely and totally forgot about it. I went and did all sorts of different things. And then when I hit 32, I joined a company called Eurotunnel. And what they did is they built 3 tunnels between the UK and France under the English Channel, okay, and they run trains through it. And I got heavily involved in this operation for 25 years. For the first 10 years, I was directly involved with working with the trains. I wasn't a driver, but I worked in the control room. Essentially, I was doing a modern version of what my dad did when I was a very, very young child. And that only hit me about 15 years into the job. And I went, wow, I'm actually living what I wanted to do as a child. And for a long time, out of those 25 years, I actually loved my work. I really, really enjoyed what I was doing. But as time progressed, I got sort of pulled further and further away from the railway side of things. And that's in the end is why I left, because I'd fallen out of love with it. So I did something that a lot of people are very, very frightened to do. I said to myself, right, okay, that's it. Time for a change. Time to move on, Mr. Wilson. And I took a huge risk, a huge leap of faith. And 2018 was a massive year of change for me. I did all sorts of things. I went on a social networking courses. I did a stand-up comedy course. I got myself a personal trainer, did exercise. I met the most amazing person that I've ever known in my entire life. And I wouldn't have done any of this, if I hadn't have made that giant leap and actually said to myself, okay, where do we want to be? What do we want to do now? And although I didn't know, I did know that I wanted something different. And this is what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to sit down and just say to yourself, do a sit rep, sort of military kind of terminology. What's your current situation? Is it what you want it to be? Where do you want it to be? What are you going to do to get from here to here? Okay? And the last question in this little block of questions is, what do you think you need to do that? So the previous question is, what would you like to do in the future? Okay? And then the next question is, what do you think you need to do that? So say, for example, you want to start a business. Well, the first thing is you need some kind of idea of what business you want to get into. And then I'm guessing you need to do some kind of research about finances and if there's a market for the kind of business that you want to do and all that kind of stuff. And there's steps to take to starting a business. Maybe you want to build a house. I have no idea how to build a house, and it's not one of my ambitions to build one, but I'm guessing if you want to do that, again, there are certain steps you'd need. I'm guessing you need to buy some land that has permission to build a house on it. Then you'd need to talk to an architect and builders, sort your finances out and timelines and all that kind of stuff. It's a big, big, big project, but it's doable. In the UK, there is a program, what's it called? Grand Designs. It's called Grand Designs. It's run by this architect guy. It's basically the premise is there's a couple and they want to convert this old power station or old mill or train station, you know, unique kind of buildings like that, and they want to turn them into homes. And a lot of these people have the great idea, the grand idea, yeah, but they don't have a clue. One or two of them, they're really smart, they've planned out everything to perfection, and it's really, really cool. But most people go in this with the money and the idea, and all kind of havoc turns out, yeah? But it's great because in the end, they get what they want. They get the dream home. They get the railway station that's now a house, or the old library, or whatever it is. Because that was the vision. I don't like the word vision that much, but that was the idea. That was where they wanted to be. So where do you want to be? Whatever age you are now, where do you want to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years? I can't remember which guru said this, but one of them said, we really, really overestimate what we can do in 3 months, but we totally, totally underestimate what we can do in 5 years. And 5 years is a huge chunk of time. You can do all sorts of amazing things in that time. You can go from zero to hero with a business, or with your fitness, with your health, with everything, yeah? But you need to answer these questions. It is that simple. Get sat down, get some quiet time, get yourself a pad and a paper and a pencil, doodle yourself away, and just answer these 5 questions. Because it's not just about problems with alcohol and stuff like that. That's just a part of your life. There's a whole extra dimension of life surrounding that. And yeah, maybe the first step is getting sober and staying sober. But what is beyond that? Going back to the groups again, so many people in the groups are just focused on getting sober, getting sober, getting sober, getting sober. And then they kind of relapse again because that's all they've got. There is no grand plan. There is no grand design. They don't want to start a fitness business. They don't want to open a restaurant. They don't want to go to university. They don't want to, or they don't seem to want to do anything apart from getting sober. And I think that's why so many people fail, because there's nothing after the goal. It's like, this is another reason why I'm not a big fan of setting goals, because let's say you want to lose 3 stone. Okay, you lose your 3 stone, you get there, then what? What's next? Unless you've got a continual pattern of ideas to keep you motivated, to keep you going, if you set a goal and then achieve it, or even worse, you don't achieve it. So if you don't achieve it, then you think, oh my God, I'm a failure, it's all horrible, I'm useless, blah, 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 and you just give up on life. As far as we know, we are only here one time. Maybe we come back as a different person or as a different element, shall we say. But as far as Paul Wilson is concerned, and you are concerned, we only have this one shot. So why waste it? Why spend time worrying about who you are, feeling sorry for yourself, which I did. Unfortunately, I spent years feeling sorry for myself and all that kind of thing. But I've got out of that, and I'm just growing and developing and changing. And I know there's lots of stories about, okay, imagine, project yourself forward on your deathbed, and what do people say on their deathbed? And most people say, well, you know, I don't have any regrets, or I regret doing this, or I regret doing that. Me, on my deathbed, if I actually am lucky enough to be on a deathbed, is I will say something like, I'm still a work in progress. Because we are human beings. This brain, we've now figured out that is continually available to learn and grow and develop and take on board new stuff. You can teach an old dog new tricks, yeah? So why go stagnant? Why stagnate? Why go stiff and solid like a block of concrete? Why not expand and, you know, build your horizons, go to new horizons, yeah? Getting clean is one step. Doing this is the next step. Step, 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 step. Until, you know, Alcohol is just like somewhere way back there. It just doesn't figure in your mind anymore. It's just not there. It's not a thing, because you've got this going on, you've got that going on, you've got lots of other things going on. Your life is just full and rich and beautiful, because that's what we're designed for. It took me years and years and years to figure this out, and again with the help of my friend, yeah. But life is to be lived. Life is enjoyment and doing stuff and improvement and growth and learning and helping and love and gratitude and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And if you're not doing that, you're not really alive, I'm sorry to say, yeah. You're just marking time, you know, between now and the day you die. I know that's a bit of tough love, but think about it. If you're just marking time and just waiting for the day you get on your deathbed in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, yeah, change that thinking. Change that thinking. Look forward to stuff, build things, create stuff, love people, do stuff, hug people, yeah? That's what these 5 questions are about, okay? These 5 questions that get you to dig deep and look at your life and look at what changes you can do, find out what's not working for you, and do changes. Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. If you keep doing the same thing day in and day out, you're going to get the same results. You have to expand your comfort zone. You have to start thinking about everything, about what kind of changes you want to make in your life. And you do that, it will go where you want it to go, I promise you, yeah? It might go in a different direction. You might want to be going straight on and then you hit a turn, you go right, but you might go up and meet that junction, you turn left. One final story before I go, which kind of highlights this whole thing. Many, many years ago, I'd been working in France and I'd finished the summer season and I was hitchhiking kind of in the direction of the mountains so I could get myself a job for the winter in a ski resort. And it was a lovely, lovely summer, well, late summer's evening, and I got dropped off at this roundabout. And for those of you that don't know what a roundabout is, instead of having these big junctions where you've got to wait for traffic lights to go straight on or left or right, a roundabout is you've got 4 junctions coming in with a big circle in the middle, and you have priority from one direction, and the traffic just continually flows and you give way to the traffic on the roundabout. So this roundabout was a big island with trees and grass and bushes and flowers and all that kind of stuff. So I said to myself, right, okay, I'm going to sleep there tonight. I didn't have a tent, but it didn't really matter because it's a lovely evening. So put myself in the middle of this roundabout, went to sleep. Beautiful, beautiful night, the stars and the moon, all that kind of thing. And woke up in the morning to the dawn chorus, so the birds are singing, and it's really, really quiet because I'm in the middle of nowhere, and the dawn comes up, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful day. And then it struck me. I stood up and thought, okay, well, I'm hungry because I've not eaten for a couple of days. But after that, I just thought, this is amazing. There's 4 roads. There's one here, one to my right, one to my left, and one behind me. I think I've just come last night from the one behind me. So I've got 3 choices. And it doesn't really matter which one I take. And that is such a liberating feeling to have these options. And you can just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yeah? Or whichever way you do it. And you just pick one and you go with it. And essentially, that's what I'm asking you to do right now. Or when you've got the time, make the time today or tomorrow if you can. Get those questions. Really hit them hard. Ask yourself these really, really deep questions. Don't be superficial. Go into it. Really dig deep and find answers to these questions. And then just decide where you want to go. Just pick one thing. And the great thing about this is, if it doesn't work, it will lead you through experiences. You will meet new people, learn new things, do new stuff. And along the journey from here to where you want to be, some new ideas, some new thoughts, some new way of looking at things will come up. And then you might spin off to the right or to the left or do a 360 and go in a completely different direction. Who knows? Just try it. Yeah, no, in fact, don't try it, just do it. As Yoda said, there is no try, only do. So, that is it from me tonight. Thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Again, 2 requests from me. First one, if you know anybody that could use this information, please like and share and PM and all that kind of stuff so people can find this. And then the next one, probably more important, is if you've got any questions, any comments, any subjects that you'd like me to talk about during these videos, just put them in the comments or send me a PM. I would really appreciate it. And because eventually I don't want this to be a talking head kind of thing. I want to build up some interaction. And one way of doing that is having your questions to answer. So thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, and I'll see you tomorrow night at the same time, 8 o'clock UK time. Thank you. Bye.